Greetings, Internet viewers. Your old pal Oxleymations here again with another video presentation. So a couple of years ago, I did a small little series of videos because, well, during one of my very first Thankmas live streams, I had a viewer in the audience who decided that they were interested to know more about my ventriloquist puppet collection. And, well, in that series of videos, I showed off all the puppets that I had, up till that point. Between then and now, my collection has basically doubled, so I figured I would take the opportunity at this stage in my YouTube career, well, it's not even a career yet, my YouTube hobby, to show off my collection as it is now. Now, I'm not going to go over the ones I already went over, my original Jerry Mahoney's and Charlie McCarthy, Knucklehead Smith, Groucho Marx, all those guys. No. Those ones are being left in the first portion of this series. What I'm going to be doing with this one is I'm going to be taking a look and showing all of you out there the puppets that I've gotten since I made those videos. So without further delay, let's jump right into it. And to start things off, you may have noticed this shopping bag right here next to the pumpkin. We have the earliest of these new puppets that I've gathered. Made by the Ideal Toy Corporation back in, I believe it was 1953 or it was 1951. I bought this guy to repair and he still needs a lot of work. So I'm just making sure his jaw was in the right spot. But from 1953, again, I believe, we have the very first, well, one of the very first Howdy Doody ventriloquist dolls. Now, technically, he's not, he was never actually listed as a ventriloquist doll. He was just a doll. Yeah, he was just a doll. Stop, full stop. And, unfortunately, my example here is definitely showing his age. He was supposed to have those, sleep eyes, with a baby doll when you, tilt it backwards, and the eyes close, and then they open when you sit them forward. But the thing that holds in the eyes has come loose inside his head, so they literally just kind of rock back and forth inside there. And the original rubber band for his mouth has completely worn away to the point where I can literally pull his mouth out, but for the sake of those with automatonophobia, I'm not going to do that. And also, apparently at some point during his extensive life, his leg got messed up, so they wrapped that in, what was that, fabric tape? Or medical tape. Or I could get lucky and it turns out that some child way back in the day broke their leg, and as a sign of solidarity, the parents wound up taping up his leg and be like, look, Howdy broke his leg too, see? See? So you're not alone in this. I had a Pee-wee doll, one of the talking dolls I got years ago that had that same thing, only they actually put a plaster cast on my poor little goofball. I had to take a screwdriver and a hammer to break that thing off, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, that was the 1950s Ideal Toys Howdy Doody ventriloquist puppet. So yeah, that's him. One thing I should make a quick little note of here in the middle of the start of the video, or this video series, I'm not going to be going into too great of detail with most of these ventriloquist puppets in the collection, because for one thing, I've in the past probably gone over some of the finer points about them, but for another thing, there's a lot of these that I'm going to be doing repair videos on, like Howdy over there. So when I actually get to doing those videos, on doing the breakdown on getting them back up and running and restored to the best of my ability, that's when I'll talk some more about the history of the item and things like that. Just so y'all know. Now then, on to the next one. Alright, so for this next guy, it's I'm cheating a little bit, kind of like in the first video series when I took a look at that Howdy Doody marionette, because, spoiler alert, it's another marionette. It's actually made by the same company as that Howdy Doody from that other video. But here we have, from Peter Puppet Playthings, the Peter Pan. And this is an actual what's the word I'm looking for? An actually fully licensed Walt Disney product. Unfortunately, as you can see, the poor guy is missing an arm. The feather that's supposed to be in his hat is like mostly snapped off. And the most unfortunate thing of all is they gave him a disturbing expression. I don't know why they decided to give him the angry eyebrows, but part of the reason why, well, the main reason why I'm including him in this video is because of the fact that they gave him like this ventriloquial style mouth. And most obvious of all, well, that's new. For those who don't know what just happened, Peter Pan's foot just freaking fell off his leg. I did not know that was going to happen, otherwise I would not just be standing here holding him by his head. Gravy, I think that fall cracked the paint. Crud. Oh well, it can be repainted, it can be repaired. And just now, I kid you not, his other foot just fell off. My oh my. But anyway, the thing I was going to say, the other most tragic thing about him is the fact that he's missing all of his strings. He's got Pinocchio syndrome. I've got no strings to hold me down. There are no strings on me. But anyway. Yeah, there's that Peter Puppet Playthings Peter Pan marionette. Next. For the next ventriloquist puppet in the collection, for those who haven't picked up on it yet, I think I already said this, but just to reiterate, I'm going decade by decade from the oldest puppets in this current lineup to the most modern. So, from the 1960s, now that we've gotten past the 1950s puppets, we have a puppet that you've seen on this channel several times before, Knucklehead Smith. Now this is the one that was created by the Juro Novelty Company, and by the one, I mean this is the version that was made by the Juro Novelty Company back when they still had a contract with Paul Winchell. And, well, there's not much more I can say about this guy than that I haven't said about the other ones. Like I said, it's the exact same puppet. This was at a weird stage where apparently the Juro Novelty Company was using a different kind of plastic for the jaws than they were using for the heads, as evidenced by the fact that his jaw is this, it might not pick up too well on camera, but it's this kind of off pink color compared to the rest of his head, which is kind of taken on a little bit of a yellowed look from over the years. Now this one is actually a little bit different than the other two, I think. I could be thinking of the wrong one. But the checkered pattern on his suit jacket here is slightly different from the other two. And obviously his outfit has a hell of a lot of sun fading going on. To give you an example, I've got another Knucklehead Smith right over here at the ready. So this is roughly how the outfit is supposed to look. The name tag's on the wrong pocket, but it's supposed to look about like that. And this is how his outfit looks. Also with this model, when I got him, he was missing the string to activate the mouth. So I had to replace that with some twine that I had from something else I bought online. I forget what it was. He's missing his shoes, but he came with the original Dickie, so there's that. Anyway, on to the next one. Oh, yep. Next up, we have yet another Knucklehead Smith. This little fella, though, is actually really special. Here, I'll bring him closer so y'all can see. First thing of note is the fact that, well, unfortunately, he's another one of my project puppets that I have yet to actually get started on, fixing. But that's not the special thing about him. In 1966, let me back up so I'm actually in frame. In 1966, when Paul Winchell broke off his contract with the Juro Novelty Company because of, well, issues with quality regarding the Jerry Mahoney puppets and all the other ones, he decided that he was going to start making his own puppets based off of his characters, and I've got to say, and a lot of other collectors have to say, these ones look a hell of a lot closer to the original actual puppets that he used than anything Juro ever did. So he carved the heads himself. As you can see, that's all his handiwork, and etched into the back of Knucklehead's head here. It's probably going to be just about impossible to make out, but it actually says copyright 1966 Paul Winchell on the back of his head. Another interesting thing to note with the Paul Winchell Jerry Mahoney and Knucklehead Smith puppets is that instead of having a rubber band inside to make the mouth move, there's actually a little metal clip inside there that's bent in such a way that it acts basically like a spring and makes the mouth retract when the string is pulled. That was something I learned thanks to looking at some broken ones that were for sale on eBay. The head was like completely cracked and the mouth was out, and there was just this like triangular piece of metal sticking out the back. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's been Knucklehead Smith, number 4 in the collection. And who knows, maybe there will be more in the future. I certainly don't know. But only time will tell. Yeah, get on to the next one already. Alright, Knucklehead, we'll move on.